Today we're going to look at 30, 60, 90 triangles, which are special triangles that you can use shortcuts to solve for sides. So let's do a quick review of what we did yesterday, 45, 45, 90 triangles. So number one is a 45, 45, 90 triangle. We know that because two sides are the same, so A is 8. And then if you remember the shortcut, B will be 8 square root of 2. And that only took like a second to do. You could use Pythagorean theorem as well, but that was way quicker. So now let's take a look at this triangle right here. Again, there's 180 degrees in a triangle. So to solve for angle A right here, you can take 180 minus 90 minus 60, and that will give us 30 degrees. So this is a 30, 60, 90 triangle. We can use Pythagorean theorem to solve for B right here, which is A squared plus B squared. That equals C squared. We type this in our calculator. We have 2 squared plus 3.4641. And take the square root of that. The square root of 16 is 4. So this side, C, will be 4. So today we're going to look for a shortcut in a 30, 60, 90 triangle, just like we did for our 45, 45, 90 triangle. So here is a triangle. It's equilateral. All sides are the same. So if I cut this in half, I didn't do that very well. Let's use a straight line here. So if I cut this in half, this is 90. All of these angles were 60 degrees, but then I cut it in half, so this is the 30 degrees. And if this side was 2n, I cut it in half. This side will now be n. And if we use Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared, so I'll call this side a. So we have a squared plus b squared, so n squared, equals c squared. So here's how we could solve for the side algebraically. We have a squared plus n squared equals 2n times 2n is 4n squared. Subtract n squared from each side. A squared equals 3n squared. Take the square root. So the side right here will be, if we have n squared and take the square root, that's just n. So we have n squared of 3. So in a 45, 45, 90 triangle, here's what it looks like. So again, this is that triangle 30, 60, 90. The longest side is 2n. The shortest side is n, and the last side is n squared of 3. They can flip that triangle around on you. So again, between the 30 and the 60, that side's 2n. The way that I remember that, 60 divided by 30 is 2, so 2n. The smallest side between the 60 and the 90 is n, and then the last side between the 90 and the 30 is n squared of 3. So you just have to remember, look at your angles, look at the sides, and we're going to use that to solve. So let's do some examples here. Again, here's that triangle. It might flip around on you. And again, when you're doing these triangles, you have to ask yourself, do you have n, 2n, or n squared of 3? Look at the angles. So for number one right here, here's our 60, 30, 90 triangle. Start with the 7. The 7 is between the 60 and the 90, so this side's n. Between the 30 and the 60, we're going to double that. It's 2n. So if we take 7 and double it, that side's 14. And then the last side, side B, right here, is between the 30 and the 90. And that side's n squared of 3. And n is 7, so this side's 7 squared of 3. You could fill them in right here. So A is 14, B is 7 squared of 3. Let's try the next one. Again, 30, 60, 90 triangle. Again, we have n, so n is 10. If we double that, we get 2n, that's 20. And the last side is 10 squared of 3. All right, what if they give us a different side here? So now they give us for 3 and 4 between the 30 and the 60. So you ask yourself, do you have n, 2n, or n squared of 3? And if we look at the picture between the 30 and the 60, that's 2n. So we have 14 equals 2n. Let's solve for n here. Let's divide by 2. So n is 7. And that goes between the 60 and the 90. So A is 7. And the last side will be 7 squared of 3. Let's try the next one. Again, between the 30 and the 60, that's 2n. So 2n equals 20. Let's divide by 2 here. So n equals 10. And that goes between the 60 and the 90, so this side's 10. And the last side is 10 squared of 3. And the last type of problem, what if they give us between the 30 and the 90? Let's just take a screenshot of this. Okay, so right here between the 30 and the 90, 9 equals n squared of 3. So let's just divide by square root of 3 here. So n equals 9 over square root of 3. Figure out where that goes. That goes between the 60 and the 90. So this side's n over square root of 3. If we double that, that'll be 18 over the square root of 3, and that would be the longest side. So again, the last one between the 30 and the 90, that 12 equals n squared root of 3. To get n by itself, we divide by square root of 3. So the smallest side between the 90 and the 60 is 12 square root of 3. So that goes here. And we'll double that, 24 square root of 3, to get the longest side. So today you'll be practicing these 30, 60, 90 triangles and the 45, 45, 90 triangles. And we will spend one more day reviewing that tomorrow.